Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of our One Piece podcast. Today we are talking about the Enies Lobby arc and the 10 chapters afterwards. I thought these chapters were pretty great. They were a very good culmination of what's been building up with Robin's arc. And I definitely was not disappointed by how it all came together. I thought it had, I think, three emotional moments that really stuck out to me, and they all hit their mark pretty well for me, at least. What do you guys think?
Yeah, dude. I mean, Enies Lobby is definitely one of the most beloved arcs in One Piece, and I think it's for pretty good reason. Like you said, there are a lot of really emotional moments. There are a lot of great fights. Basically, like every single Straw Hat gets a fight and gets like a kind of like a power up along the way. Um, I love CP9. CP9's like a great set of villains. Yeah, there's a lot to love here for sure.
Yep, nothing but praise from my end. This is One Piece at its prime. You got the action, you got the emotion, you got the humor. I mean, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, it was really good. I guess, where should we start? I guess we could just talk about, kind of go through each of the fights, I guess, because we start off with them invading and they bust through the gate with the help of the Frankie family and everybody, and pretty quickly it kind of they have their own plan, and we get to divvy them up into their own fights. I thought all the fights were really good. I think my favorite fights were, hmm, I think Zoro always has good fights. And I really liked seeing like Chopper's ultra transformation. That was
Yeah,
that was like
crazy.
really spooky. It was really cool, but also really spooky. So those are probably my two standouts. Oh, also Usopp being able to, or I guess Soka King, sorry, being able to show off his sniper skills at it was kind of towards the end, but very cool.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, he also has another really great moment when all the Straw Hats are lined up on the wall, like on the tower, and like across the drawbridge is like all of CP9, and they're kind of like having their standoff, and then Luffy just goes, "Soju King, shoot down the flag," and then he just snipes the
Yeah,
world government flag, and it was like, "Holy shit! They just declared war on the world government." That is just like such an iconic moment. What
very.
a great little moment
Yeah,
there.
I think
Love
Usopp
that
was
stuff.
definitely a standout in this arc. Because he in the last arc we had him kind of falling out with the pirates, and this is him in his alias, and he does a lot of really cool stuff while also giving us classic Usopp moments. And I think he really grew a lot because I mean we see at the very end when he rejoins the crew and he's there. I honestly I really like that part at the very end with Usopp. Like I was like kind of in the same boat as was it Zoro that says like you can't
Yeah.
allow him back in unless he apologizes because
Yes,
like
yep,
at
that's
this
one of my favorite
yeah,
moments.
I really, really like that moment because, like, at the same time, I was thinking that, like, okay, this is kind of lame if they're like, I was honestly thinking exactly like what they said, but like, it's kind of like they're pretending to be pirates if they're just like, oh yeah, you
Yeah.
can join. You're my buddy. Yeah, nothing. No, we'll out under the bridge. When previously in the last chapter, like that was a pretty big moment and like a pretty emotional moment between the two. Like they were very serious at that point in time, and like
Hmm.
for them to like bring that up and being like, yeah, he has to apologize, or else like nobody's gonna respect you as captain, or like we can't move on from this,
Yeah.
and I will leave the pirates if you don't. Like if that doesn't happen, and it
Yep.
happens, and like it's a very emotional moment. I thought that was one of my favorite moments, if not my favorite moment in the whole arc.
Zoro's usually pretty rational about that type of thing
Yeah,
too, which is great to kind of offset, Luffy's kind of happy-go-lucky nature.
yeah, and he's like Zoro's also kind of like he he doesn't seem to be too involved in the whole pirate aspect of the thing. He's kind of in the whole he's kind of just kind of going with the vibe and like just kind of doing his own thing. But like at that moment, he really cares. He really shows that he cares about the crew and like the entire group of individuals.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to like handle Usopp coming back because it doesn't in any way like undercut the emotions of like Usopp leaving the crew.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, if he had just like joined and like they had kind of just forgotten about it and like let it go, then it would have made that moment, it would have like robbed it of its impact, like in retrospect, you know? I feel like there are like a lot of times, that's like one of my biggest pet peeves in like series, and I feel like long running series kind of fall victim to this more often, where they like, they rob an earlier moment, they make it less cool like retroactively by like something else that's happened in the story. And I feel like this is like a really, really good way to like not do that. You know, like he Oda didn't fall into that trap of taking away the stakes of a moment previously by like, taking away what happened as a result. So
Yeah. And I
that
feel
was good.
like when you're talking
Also,
about, oh,
also
sorry.
just like okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
I was just gonna say like that was like also like not only was that like a good moment in terms of like you know letting Usopp join the crew without taking away the stakes of what had happened earlier, but also it's like a great moment for Zoro too, because I feel like he's like one of the characters who's like he's probably the most loyal to Luffy. So for him to say like that he's going to leave the crew is like like if Luffy just lets him join is such like a that's such like a hard hitting thing, especially to hear from like Zoro.
Hmm.
And like it just shows that like the reason that Zoro is like so loyal to Luffy is because he respects Luffy so much, and he knows that like if Luffy would do that, then no one else would respect him, and that would like affect the entire crew.
Yeah.
So I think that was like a good moment for Zoro too.
And then going back to what you were saying about the like downplaying a previous moment, I feel like a lot of like you're talking about other series doing that, and like I feel like a lot of other series could do that, and just like they would instead of going for that like more development driven moment and like more serious moment at that point, like you could have easily had like a very quick and funny little thing with Usopp, and like yeah, it's really funny in the moment, but like you said, it downplays and like ruins an earlier moment. So definitely happy they went with that.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of good because there was also like humor in it as well, with like Usopp like planning out what he would like
Oh
all of these
yeah.
different scenarios. Like that
Yeah,
was like hilarious.
very
So it
funny.
was great because like we got the jokes, but we also got like the serious like the good shit,
Yeah,
like
for
the
sure.
good like character shit. So
So
Usopp.
yeah.
I think my favorite fight was the whole culmination of the Kaku and Zoro, and then you had Soge King and the Wolf guy.
Yeah.
Like the banter between the Wolfman and Kaku, that was always funny. Um, and then Kaku kind of getting used to his new devil fruit,
Yeah.
the giraffe.
He,
Yeah.
he was perfect devil fruit for him. Like he's like, well, yeah, that's Kaku. He's got the nose and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love like you were saying about like the banter between like Kaku and the wolf guy Jabra. Like one thing that I really like about CP9 is like when we're first introduced, I mean not when we're first introduced to them, but like the first time we see them in Enies Lobby, like when like Lucci, Kaku, Khalifa all like come back. And like we get like there's like a chapter of basically just like banter and stuff, and they're like kind of explaining this like power level system that they all have, but they're all basically just like bantering and like basically shitting on Jabra the whole time for like he like some like someone who worked in the cafeteria like dumped him or something. They're basically all just like memeing with each other, and it's like we get like such a good sense of like what the vibe is with CP9. Like, and I feel like it's like such a good parallel with like, the Straw Hats, because
Yep.
but like I love those moments with the Straw Hats where we just get like downtime and them just like interacting and bantering, and I love that we get like a little bit of that with CP9 too. So we're like, yeah, these are like real dudes. They're not just like a
Right.
bunch of like
It
stoic
humanizes
villains.
them a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's good shit.
Yeah, for sure.
And on the other spectrum of that too, you've got Rob Lucci, who's just all serious all the time.
Yeah.
So you get that part of what you want out of a villain too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
agree. Um,
And I love like on Rob Lucci as well. Like his fight with Luffy is definitely like by far the toughest fight that Luffy has had up until this point, because he's basically had to like he's had to push himself so far in order to beat Rob Lucci. Like just to beat, Bruno, he had to unlock Gear 2, but then to beat Lucci, he has to go Gear 3rd. And just like I love that we're at the point where we're getting like fights where Luffy has to like really, really power up in order to overcome the odds and shit.
Yeah, I thought the gear thing was like, for me at least, it felt like it came kind of out of nowhere. It's like, yeah, I learned it from fighting you guys earlier at the castle, or like I realized I had to do something about it, but and I enjoyed it, but like I also kind of got like a gut feeling like it just kind of came. It was a bit sudden for me, I guess. It didn't seem like he like it didn't seem like there was enough time for him to have like just developed this idea of he was like twisting his body in a way like it circulated his blood better or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You also have to take into account this is a Shonen Jump manga. Right?
Yeah.
This is Dragon Ball Z power up we're looking at now.
Yeah.
I kind of like the twist on it though, where this is a power up only Luffy can do because of his special ability.
Yeah.
And also Oda kind of puts a cap on it with the cooldown. So it's not like he can just power up anytime he wants. Like there's some repercussions for it too.
Doesn't he like literally? Doesn't Rob Lucci like say something about like he's also like making his life shorter or something like that?
Yeah. The classic shonen trope of like you're cutting your life short, but like it doesn't matter because like they're not gonna the series is gonna show them living that long anyway. So.
Well, also like if you if you lose the fight, you're dead. So.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's either I die.
That would really cut your life short.
Now.
How short do you want your life? Going back to.
No, but.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I see what you mean with like it kind of coming out of nowhere. Like, I mean, I like, there are so many like shonen series where this would come after like a whole training arc, where like they'd like find some like master of whatever fighting style and then they would like train for a while. And like I love that kind of shit. Like I love training arcs because we get like, we feel like the hard work that has to like go into the power-ups. But so I definitely see like the complaint. It kind of makes sense. Like
I don't even know if I'd say it's I don't even know. Complaint seems like such a harsh word. It seemed like just a feeling that I had about it. It honestly didn't take away from my enjoyment of it. It's just something that I felt.
Yeah. I also, as Luke was saying, I really like the fact that it's like basically just a creative application of his devil.
Yeah.
That it's something that only he can do.
That's something I really like that recurs about Luffy is like it seems like he's really, really creative with his devil fruit. Because like compared to a lot of other devil fruits, it seems like a relatively simple one. Like you're made out of rubber, but like the way he uses it and like we see a new application every single time. And like in this one with when he goes to Gear 3, it's just like he's got like the crazy big hands and feet and like he just looks so crazy and it just opens up a whole new world of possibilities. So excited to see how he innovates in the future, and like that his innovation is definitely one of my favorite parts about Luffy.
Yeah, I also like the when he first goes Gear 2nd, when he's like that pose that he has where he's like squatting down and his like fist is on the ground and like the steam is rising out of his body. Like one of the most iconic like moments in One Piece. Like so fucking good. I love that pose.
Yep.
He's literally Attack on Titan. He's literally inflicting harm on himself and steaming at the same time, which is like two things about transforming into a Titan.
And I guess like if you think about it, like what is this, like chapter 300? What are we on now?
450.
Yeah,
like
450, and he's this is his first power up.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
he never really had to do anything like that before.
Yeah.
So
unless you consider putting blood on your hands as a power up.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, I kind of think that like One Piece is, I feel like One Piece is less about the fights than like most other shonen series. I feel like it's more about like there's a lot more going on there. There's like the comedy aspect. There's like the adventure aspect. Like there's so many like it's like there's also fights obviously, and like the fights are usually like the the climax of their respective arcs. But I feel like One Piece is like not really one of those series where it's like focused on power levels or like getting really deep into the combat system. It's more just like the fights often have humor in them, and like they are just sort of like this person's creative power against this person's like weird power. So I like, I don't think like if this was a series where it was like more focused on like the actual combat system and the fights, like a Hunter x Hunter or something, then like I would be like, wow, this is weird that the protagonist just pulled a power out of nowhere. But
Yeah.
since it's like less focused on that, I kind of give it a pass.
Yeah, I agree. And I really like
Plus,
the comedic aspect of some of the fights. Like I know whenever Usopp's in a fight, I'm gonna be laughing my ass off, and then
yeah,
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, exactly.
The gem of this one was when Sogeking and Zoro are handcuffed together.
yeah.
And Zoro's just like, well, I guess I'll just make you a sword.
He's like, hold your body real stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a highlight for sure, that fight.
Yeah.
Another good fight. I actually really like Nami's fight, which I was not expecting. Because we get to see Sanji get his ass beat, and then we actually get to see
Yeah.
Nami like hold her own and like think for herself and like be really creative with the new climate act. And yeah, I actually really liked her fight. She outsmarted her opponent, who actually seemed like Khalifa seemed like pretty fucking strong. Her bubble ability was like crazy cool, and seeing Nami overcome that like completely I think it was completely on her own, was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because like it's great because One Piece is not about the power levels. Like Sanji got bodied by Khalifa because it was just like a bad matchup. Like there's no way he's ever going to beat a woman because he can't kick a woman. So the fact that like Nami like recognized that and was like, all right, now it's like I can fight against Khalifa. Like I know that you can. That was a great moment, and like it was a great fight. Good shit.
Hmm.
Right, and we saw Nami come out of a pretty tough situation and pulled out the W anyways. Like she was completely smoothed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got turned into a bowling pin.
Yeah.
And that probably would have been the end for her, but she figured out, okay, the water kind of offsets this ability, and
Hmm.
yeah, she ended up outwitting the opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I've said before, like those fights where it's like Nami is not like a powerful character, but that means that like when she wins, it's usually because of like tactics and like outsmarting their opponent. Like Usopp, I would say, has like similar kind of a feel for his fights. And so like that's why like I honestly like really like those kinds of fights, because it's less just like like a big attack and more like tactics and outsmarting your opponent, like understanding their abilities. Like that's good shit. That's what
Yeah. It always ends up being really satisfying when that happens. And
Yeah.
it came together this chapter for sure with Nami's fight. And then she had a fight earlier in the chapter that it was kind of like a half fight, because it was versus the pink-haired guy. Was it pink-haired guy or blue-haired guy? What is the guy with the tentacle hair? Pink-haired.
Yeah.
Who I thought was probably my least interesting character in CP9. He didn't get too much screen time, but he's what is he like, always yelling or something like that, or
He's basically like his gimmick is that he's got like the kabuki face paint, and so he's like, I don't know, it's kind of like a kabuki theater thing,
Yeah.
I think.
I thought his fight was kind of
Japanese.
uninteresting to me, but he got completely bodied by Mega Chopper, so that was pretty cool to see. I think Mega Chopper was definitely a highlight for me. Like he was so menacing. Like the art for Mega Chopper was like perfect, and like I wasn't expecting it, but like it didn't feel like something came out of nowhere. It was like, okay, this is something that I can believe has happened to Chopper before.
The Rumble Balls had been set up before.
Yeah, the Rumble Balls has been set up, and one thing that I didn't like, just kind of like a meta thing, but like it's so hard to tell when he eats a Rumble Ball in the manga. Like I don't know, maybe it's like something about the color scheme
Right,
of them or
yeah.
something. I'm just like, oh, I have to like always flip back. I'm like, oh, he just ate a rumble ball. Okay. But yeah, seeing him, what he was like 3 rumble balls. It was like his own gear 3.
Yeah.
And basically lose consciousness into like an eldritch abomination was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then Frankie came in clutch on kind of damage control with that too.
Oh yeah, for sure. At the very end of it, he's like, just throw him in the water, right? Is that what he
Right.
does? Yeah.
Yeah, he throws him in the water and dives in to catch him right after
Yeah.
he's in the water.
He was just rampaging throughout the entire castle.
Right.
I like how.
And I think he actually hurt Nami a bit.
Yeah, I think it was Nami.
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically like tore up the tower that Nami was fighting in like right after she beat Khalifa.
Yeah, he was I like how like people like struggle to recognize him. It's like this ginormous deer character with a
Yeah.
fucking red hat and like, what is that monster? Oh, I can see he's got the same color fur and he's got horns and that hat.
The hat grew with him.
Yeah, that grew with him. The hat's a source of power. But yeah, it's something that it'd be cool if he could harness it in the future because Chopper's one of my more favorite characters in the crew just because he's like, I don't know, he's pretty versatile. He's got like his normal like mini self, and he's got like the deer form, and then he's got like the Smokey the bear form, and now he's got this uber powerful form, which is super cool.
Yeah.
And then let's see, I'm trying to think. Oh, there's the zipper guy that Frankie was fighting. Another kind of, it was. I think the thing about that last fight and then this one they're kind of like initial fights, so they kind of build up towards later fights. So Frankie fights this guy, and then he goes and does his thing after that. But I thought that this fight was kind of also uninteresting to me.
I thought it was kind of funny, like the part where like the part that always sticks in my head about this fight is when he is like when Fukuro is like he's like using his kicks to like stop from falling into the water, and like Frankie grabs onto one of his legs, and then he's like, "Holy shit, we're both gonna die! Because I can't get us out of the water." That was like that whole like just like the image of that of like him like doing his kicks and Frankie just holding on for dear life is very fun.
I think this one definitely struck me as more of a comedic fight than
Yeah.
because you have the entire moment with the fridge, which I thought was pretty hilarious. He just keeps going into the fridge and getting the wrong drink or whatever.
Oh yeah, when Chopper just keeps giving him different drinks, that was great. The great review panels.
Yeah, for sure.
And this fight kind of shows Frankie kind of relies pretty heavily on the cola.
The cola.
Yeah, that was a big limitation. Yeah.
And but I mean, even without, he was swapping punches.
Yeah, he can definitely hold his own, but when he gets the cola, like you see towards later in the chapter, like he gets the cola, he gets the mega power up sometime.
Right, he's doing coup de burst left and right.
Yeah, he's doing coup de burst. He's like, I just had 3 barrels of cola.
Dude, but also like the part where they're just like slugging it out, where they're just trading blows, like they're just each just basically taking turns punching each other. Like that was pretty great too.
I feel like
that's a Frankie thing to do.
I feel like
a classic Frankie thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like this fight would like really benefit if I saw it animated. It seems like a decent one, just because like I feel like a voice to attach to Frank, because I haven't heard anything from Frankie's character.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So having a voice to attach to Frankie and also honestly to Fukuro would have been nice, but I'll look into that after for sure.
Frankie's voice is excellent.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Frankie's already kind of up there for favorite characters just from this chapter. We also get to see at the very beginning of the chapter, Frankie's ass gets thick, dude. He just fucking sets off the atomic bomb after having such a flat ass for the entire thing, and then he even has a redemption arc at the very end when he gets his pants stolen away and his ass. You get to see his ass.
Yeah.
Definitely
You can actually see it with your own eyes.
yeah, hilarious. I don't know, just a recurring point that Oda kept going back to was Frankie's ass.
I mean, Frankie just, he likes to show it off.
Yeah, for sure. He doesn't care.
A more impacting Frankie moment in this arc is his burning of the Pluton blueprints.
Oh yeah.
So, he's the only one who knows the Pluton. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Frankie's
He's basically oh, go on.
I was gonna say he's learning from his past and he's kind of growing.
Yeah. And he's basically like, at that point, he's also putting his trust in Robin too, because he's saying that like now that like if the government ends up getting you, they will be able to like reconstruct the blueprints by like reading the poneglyphs. So like you can't give up, like you have to like keep fighting and not let the government get their hands on you,
Mm-hmm.
because now there's no like automatic counter weapon that can be made if they're able to translate the poneglyphs.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then Frankie even like comes and helps Luffy out with Rob Lucci, which is pretty cool. He doesn't do all.
He was all over the place.
Yeah, he was kind of I think I think Oda made a conscious decision to have Frankie kind of all over the place, just so, because like obviously he had in his mind that he wanted Frankie to join the crew. So like between the Water 7 arc and this arc, he wants as much development and like quote unquote screen time for Frankie as possible, so he can like endear him to the fans, which is I think worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You get to see him interact with all the other Straw Hats a decent amount.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he gets
by the end, you're like really excited that he joins the crew.
Yeah, exactly. And you get to see him do many different tricks throughout the different fights that he goes through, which is something you get to look forward to in later fights as well. If you like, oh, I remember back in Enies Lobby when he pulled out this move, I hope he pulls it out again or something like that.
Uh-huh.
The dude's a cyborg. Like,
yeah.
What's not to like?
Yeah. Super cool. I could have sworn last in Water 7 his chin had 2, like he had like a cleft chin and now he has 3 chins?
No, I think he always had 3.
Okay, maybe I didn't go back to actually check, but I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Frankie. And then he builds Thousand Sunny, which is pretty sick at the very end.
Yeah, definitely.
And it looks like a pretty dope ship. It looks they said it's like crazy big and it's like got grass on the deck and shit.
Yep.
The dream ship.
Made from the super tree.
Yeah.
Same wood as Gold Roger's ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Oro Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we'll go back to other characters before we get to like the post stuff, but let's see, who else have we not covered? I guess we could just talk about Robin.
We should probably talk about Robin and her flashback.
I was kind of saving Robin towards the end because she was like the main focus of the chapter.
Yeah.
I think we are at the I don't think we have any other characters. Oh, Sanji, I guess.
We should talk about Sanji.
Yeah. He kind of gets bodied by Khalifa, and then he has a redemption moment where he gets completely fucking blasted but survives, and they're just like, oh shit.
Yeah, and then he unlocks his what is it, Diablo Jamblo?
Yeah,
he basically spins around really fast and his leg catches on fire.
Yeah, and this is kind of later, but he officially gets the name Blacklegs, which is cool. But yeah, the Diablo stuff was super cool. He's got fire legs, which is pretty fucking cool. Like that's sick.
Yeah. That's he can kill the meat and cook it at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's like later on in an SBS, someone writes in and is like, how does Sanji's leg not get burned when he like does this attack? And Oda says, because the flame burns hot, but his heart burns hotter. So that is the official canon reason as to like how this attack works.
Just like the official canon or the official canon location for Sniper Island is in your heart.
Yeah. Exactly.
Um, yeah, so yeah, it's something we haven't seen from Sanji before, and seems pretty strong.
Yeah, pretty necessary to beat CP9.
Yeah,
Good job, bro.
he gets that's his power up, I guess, is the fire legs. It was nice getting to see him, beat people down after getting bodied by Khalifa.
Yeah.
I was
Also,
I
like,
was
just I like
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, his fight against Khalifa is like, he definitely gets bodied, but you got to respect like him sticking to his principles.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah,
not
for
doing
sure.
all
For sure.
of
I was kind of mentally prepared for him to be a bowling pin the whole arc.
it. Well, I see that picture of Sanji in like his bowling pin form get posted whenever people are making fun of Sanji. It's really funny.
Oh my
It's
god.
so
Okay,
funny.
we'll talk about it later, but making fun of Sanji with his wanted poster was a highlight for sure. But we'll talk about that after we talk about Robin, because I definitely do want to talk
Okay.
about it. Um,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, Robin was also a great part of this chapter. I thought her backstory was absolutely awesome, and like the emotional. I think that was another emotional moment. Um, the first one being Usopp's coming back to the ship and the crew, and then I think Robin being like that one panel. I think I sent it to both you guys, or just her. She was just
Yeah.
like, "I don't want to die" or something like that, and I was like,
Yeah.
I
For sure.
legit shed a
Yeah.
tear. I was like, God, like the entire like background that set up to that was like
Uh-huh.
I didn't think like that was gonna be like a good emotional moment for Robin. I was like, that was really good. I thought that was
Yeah.
really good.
It's so good. It's so good, like seeing Robin, who had been kind of like a closed off and like more mysterious character up until this point. Just after we like learn more about her through her like backstory, which we can talk more about, like just she basically breaks down and is completely open to like the entire crew, and like totally vulnerable. And she's like, "Please save me, I want to live." Like that was
Yeah.
such a great moment.
It's yeah, that shift in her character, just like you kind of know like how much she's been repressing all this time, and just like
Mm-hmm.
how traumatized she really is. Um,
Yeah.
and just like yeah, how much she closes herself off, like really stresses that, and like it's for good reason too, because like her backstory is like pretty traumatizing. Like she didn't know her mother for most of her life, and then when she finally like she works her entire life to try to like be with her mother and like be up to that scale of her mother, because she wants to go and find her and like be with her and like be an archaeologist with her. And as soon as she does that and like she becomes an official archaeologist, she's kind of shunned by the community, because they're like, you don't want to follow in your mother's footsteps. It's very dangerous and like highly illegal. Um, so she runs away. She befriends coincidentally it was one of her mother's friends, the giant guy.
Hmm.
And then the Buster call is called on her island, and like as her mother returns, which is like she literally like her. Also another good moment was like the very short moment that she had with her mom, where she's like, "Oh my God, are you my mom?" And like, whew, that was a good moment.
Yeah. 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 Robin has like probably the most tragic backstory out of any of the Straw Hats. Just like she's literally the only person that survived from her entire island, and like her entire life she was basically on the run, and like her very existence was a crime essentially.
Yep.
So like really sad, and like also we learn a lot of it definitely makes me like feel for Robin a lot more. Like this is when I was like, damn, like Robin is like one of my favorite Straw Hats, and then also like we learn a lot of like interesting stuff about like what the world government has been trying to like cover up. We basically learned that like the entire reason that the Buster Call was called is because they were translating the poneglyphs, so that like makes it even more of a big deal that
Hmm.
Robin can read poneglyphs, because essentially she's the only person that we know about that can read poneglyphs, and she's pretty much the only person that the world government knows about that can read poneglyphs as well. Um, and basically the reason for that is because apparently the poneglyphs have some sort of secret about the lost century, the void century, and the government's trying to cover some shit up about that. So
Yeah, it was like the
it's a
government.
mystery.
It was like how the world government started and like what was
Mm-hmm.
before the world government. So like whatever's
Right.
in the poneglyphs is like could spell disaster for the world government, and it doesn't.
It's
Yeah.
revealing what the world government did to become what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, a little bit of propaganda going on from the world government's end, and very interesting what happened in that century, and I'm sure we'll get plenty of development from Robin's end going forward.
Yeah. And also, we got a little moment at the end. We basically learned that, like, well, we learned a couple more things. Like, first, like the giant, like, Jaguar D Saul. He's got a D.
He's got a D.
Interesting. And then also, the whole reason that like Robin was even able to escape was essentially because of Aokiji.
Yeah, Aokiji's a homie.
Yeah. And he basically says that it's only like he's, you know, he wouldn't, you know, he doesn't feel like what the government's doing is right. So basically he has like his own sense of justice. Like he still believes mostly with like the Marines and what they're doing, but like not always.
Yeah.
So,
And we even get to see that with Aokiji later when they're like, it's like during the feast scene, and like he like sneaks in and talks to Robin. Super cool. I like Aokiji a lot, and he hasn't even gotten that much time. Like I think he's been in like 4 scenes.
He's mysterious. You can tell he kind of cares about Robin. Like,
Yeah.
what's best for her.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I kind of feel like at this point he's kind of like he's just curious to know what happens to Robin, because like he's like, well, you know, she's kind of my responsibility because like I'm the reason that she's still alive. So you know, I want to kind of keep an eye on her.
Yeah, but he also like he understands like the fact that she's dangerous was because like she had nobody to go with and like to be with and to have a family and stuff, and he realizes like now that she's with the Straw Hats, like she has her crew, and like
She's got people she can trust now.
yeah, and just because of that she's not as dangerous, so he doesn't have to keep as much of an eye on her. So that's a good revelation from him.
Yeah. And also, like, that was something that Saul was talking about in the flashback as well. He's like, you know, you may be, like, lonely right now. You may, like, not feel like anyone really gets you, but, like, at some point you'll find people. You'll find your home. And basically that's, like, what Robin realizes. She realizes that, like, that's the Straw Hats is, like, they're the only people that ever actually, like, you know, give a shit about her and they don't treat her as a criminal just for existing. So
yeah,
they're willing to declare war on the world government if that means that she can keep sailing with them.
Yeah. And then like just going back to Saul, like I thought Saul was a great character. He was like in there for like 2 seconds, and also we get to see he's like, yeah, not all giants are brutes from Elbath. Like meanwhile, like the 2 giant guys are like defending the gate, and they're just like, "Glory of Elbath" or whatever. I thought that was pretty funny. Get a bit more on giants. Yeah, we get a bit more on giants. This like those guys were crew members of Brogy and
Dorian Brogy.
Dorian Brogy. Yeah. So little by little, we're getting more giant stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's good to see, like, you know, more of the seeds that Oda planted hundreds of chapters ago are now in bloom.
Yeah.
Or they're starting to bloom anyway.
And also, Usopp was teasing the idea of going to Elbaf, so.
Yes. He did. I think he brought it up again this time. He said, because he said it at, like in a little garden, but then he said it again. He's like, I want to go there.
Yeah, he definitely said it this chapter. I couldn't remember if he said it earlier, but he definitely brought it up this chapter. He was like, it was like when he was debating joining the crew or whatever. I think it was one of his like joking lines as well. He was just like, "Do I really want to join your crew again? Kind of thinking about going to Elbaf."
It's on Usopp's mind.
Yeah, for sure. And then I guess we'll just talk about the culmination of it all. I thought the Buster Call, like the entire Buster Call scene, like calling it on Enies Lobby was really cool. I thought the whole like imagery of like everything exploding and like them moving across this bridge and all the pillars and supports are breaking, and it felt like a very dynamic fight and a very dynamic battlefield. And then simultaneously like they're looking off in the distance and you've got Luffy fighting Rob Lucci. And then the third emotional moment for me at least was the return of Going Merry. That was a super cool scene. I thought that was
Oh yeah.
dope as hell, and it
Mhm.
was literally, yeah, it was. They made me care about a ship.
Yeah.
Right.
They made
Yeah.
me
Oh my God,
emotional for a ship, and that was awesome.
yeah. No, yeah, and then the send off of the Mary too was a great moment.
Oh
That is
yeah,
one that you should definitely watch like the anime for.
yeah,
You should just find up like Going Mary sent or Farewell to the Mary or whatever. Just watch the scene from the anime because they play like a really great song. Well, actually, I don't know. It might not have like as much impact for you because it's basically just like a really like kind of like somber version of like the first opening,
hmm
and they play it in the background, and it's just like, oh man, like how far we've come. But
Yes.
it's also like just really great to like see all of the they're all so sad and like
yeah.
oh god yeah
They each, the,
that is like such an emotional moment. It's like yeah they got you to care about a fucking shit.
I think I was like 14 years old watching the Mary go up in flames, and you're right with the We Are music.
Yeah.
And like really, I was sobbing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, yeah,
I
I
was
just watched it
sobbing.
again like after I read that chapter, and I definitely shed a tear. So,
I do think I will watch the entire, or I'll watch everything without like everything that's in the manga. I'll probably watch eventually, all the way through. But I want to finish reading the manga and get caught up first.
yeah, definitely the manga is the most efficient way to go, and then you can just watch the anime on your
Yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
casual
I wouldn't
pace.
feel as compelled, or like not compelled. I still feel as compelled to watch, but like not as rushed to watch it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I know
Plus,
what
we
happens.
definitely wouldn't be able to do this every 2 weeks if it
Oh
was
yeah.
watching the anime,
Oh
doing
yeah.
doing the same amount of content.
Yeah. But yeah, that whole culmination in the entire fight, like I said, it felt really dynamic, and I thought them, the Mary coming back, and you get to see, like, hear the spirit of the Mary, and
Hmm.
it literally breaks down like 2 feet later, which is hilarious. But Iceberg, you get to see the flashback with Iceberg fixing it. Um, Very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I guess we'll talk about some like post-Enies Lobby stuff. The highlight of post-Enies Lobbies for me was the single panel with the bounties on it. I think that might legitimately be my favorite panel in all that I've read so far. Like just going through like me reading, just going through each of the posters was better. Like you get to Luffy's, and Luffy's poster is like, oh my god, his bounty's fucking 300 million. Like that's crazy. And then you get to like I guess Zoro's next maybe. And Zoro's is like higher now, and you're like, okay, Zoro's like getting some respect. And then it's fucking Soga King. It's not even Usopp, and it's like Soga King's got some crazy high bounty. And then it's fucking Nami, and she's got like her pose, and she was like, oh, I thought they were doing a photo shoot or something. And then I guess it's Chopper next, and Chopper's bounty's literally $50.
Yeah, 50 berries. They thought he was a pet.
Yeah, Chopper's like, oh my god, I'm finally getting my bounty, and he looks and it's just fucking $50. And then obviously the highlight is Sanji's, which is the ugliest fucking bounty poster of all time. And then everyone gets their nicknames, which is super cool. Straw Hat Luffy, Blacklegs Sanji, Pirate Hunter Zoro. Nami's is like something thief, pirate thief, something like that.
Cat burglar or something.
Yeah, oh, cat, I think it was cat thief, yeah.
Hmm.
And that was super cool. And yeah, just seeing like everyone have a bounty poster is super cool. Obviously, except Usopp. Somehow they forgot about Usopp.
Yeah.
And then obviously Frankie gets his own bounty thing, which is like the bigger compelling reason for him to join the Straw Hats, because he can no longer just vibe with the Frankie family.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, definitely. I think, like I said earlier, I think I like reading that poster, or reading the poster panel, like gave me a lot of joy. I was on that page for quite a bit.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see how far our guys have come, for sure.
And yeah, Frankie makes him a big old ship. That's pretty excited to see the potential of the Thousand Sunny.
Yeah.
Especially after seeing. I was gonna say because like in the middle of the chapter you get to see like the Buster Call on the old island and like the new Buster Call, and like the marine ships are fucking huge.
Massive.
They're so big, and I was like, okay, well if they just get the Going Merry back again, like they're gonna need a bigger ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like this one's bigger. I think they said it's like 10 times the size of the Mary, and like that's bigger, but like still those marine ships.
It's still tiny.
Yeah.
It's meant for a smaller crew.
Yeah, it's a sloop, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely very excited to see it in action. And let's see, other big points at the end. We get to see Luffy's like a lot of Luffy's family. We get to see
Yeah.
his grandfather, which was super cool. We get to see his father, who was Dragon earlier, which I had completely
Yeah.
I had kind of forgot about. At the time, I was like, oh yeah, I was on the wiki and they told me his name's Dragon. You're like, oh, that might have been spoilers, but like, I don't think it was. I don't think it was spoilers because like,
Yeah, I don't think it really was.
at the very next
know if
time
it
they
was
bring back
actually
Dragon, it's
used.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
At least you didn't know that he was Monkey D Dragon.
Yeah,
That wasn't a
exactly.
spoiler.
Yeah. So like we got Monkey D Dragon, Luffy, or Monkey D Luffy, Monkey D what's his I don't remember his grandfather's name.
Garp.
Garp, yeah.
Garp.
Then we've got a couple of other D's that have been floating around. Goldie Roger, the giant guy, D
Jaguar D.
Jaguar D, and then I think there was another one. Maybe not.
Let's see.
Maybe not.
If the-
Oh, I guess.
You've got the one that killed Zoro's friend in his flashback.
The stairs?
Down D stairs.
Oh yeah, that's I haven't heard that one before. The one that I have heard though is whenever somebody like forgets something that happened earlier in the manga, you call them Speedy Reader.
And then I completely forgot about Ace, who we also get to see a lot of some cool stuff at the very end of the chapter. I don't think we've heard his full name, but I'm sure he's got a D in there. But yeah, Luffy's family tree is kind of cracked. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Right, you saw his grandpa is a Marine.
He's like a crazy strong Marine too. He's fucking
Yeah.
throwing cannonballs like it's nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's like, damn, I wish I was as strong as I used to be.
Oh, that's where we get to see
Fine,
Sanji.
definitely.
That's where we get to see Sanji kind of go apeshit with he like takes the full brunt of one of those blasts or something, right?
Yeah, he definitely can just casually kick a cannonball.
Yeah. And then yeah, so we learn a lot about Dragon D or Monkey D Dragon, who's a revolutionary guy. He kind of like reminded me of like Crocodile, where he's going around toppling kingdoms, but he seems a bit more good. And he seems pretty strong as well. I don't think we get to
We don't
see
really
any.
know that much about his like abilities or anything, but we did see him pop up in Logtown.
Yeah, and we
So
also
it's like, oh shit.
we also got to see, or they also said like this is why the Shichibukai were formed or whatever, right? Or no, it wasn't the Shichibukai. It was like the three. Yeah, no, maybe I guess it was the Shichibukai. This is why they were formed or whatever to like stop this guy. So that's pretty hype.
Kind of good that we get an explanation for why they just sort of like let pirates like do their thing.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a pretty daunting character. And like I said earlier, Luffy's family tree is pretty strong.
And the fact that Luffy is afraid of Garp, that like Garp is just like all Garp has to do is like basically like threaten him with violence, and then Luffy's like, I'm sorry, Garp. Like
Yeah.
he must have done some fucked up shit. To him.
Yeah. Well, he did mention doing fucked up shit to him.
Yeah, because he was like, oh, I was training you to be a Marine, but you ended up using all of that strength to become a pirate.
Yeah. Speaking of people being trained in being Marines, we get to see the Kobe Helmeppo return, the glow up.
Yes.
Pretty great. I was awaiting this at all times, and as soon as they show like the first hint of them, I was like, oh, that's Kobe Helmeppo, baby. They got the
Yeah.
blonde hair and the pink hair. I'm like, that's them. That's them.
Uh-huh.
And they get their
yeah,
ass.
Actually, this wasn't even like the first appearance of Garp because we see him.
Yeah,
in,
we
like,
saw
one of
Garp earlier.
one of the cover stories.
But he wasn't. I don't think they called him Monkey D. Garp. They just
Oh yeah,
called
they
him
just call him Garp. They did not call him Monkey D. Garp.
or Admiral Garp or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they literally just say training with Garp.
Yeah. But yeah, they got their ass beat by Zoro and Luffy. But I mean, obviously they weren't. I don't think they either any of them were going all out. But I don't think they're even close to their power level at this point. But yeah, it was super cool getting to see them again because I was awaiting it for a long time, and it makes me more excited for some of these cover stories that we're getting. Most recently, we had the Miss Golden Week one where she's like vibing with the ex Baroque Works agents.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That one was good. But yeah,
And then basically we have like at the end of that we like basically some of the not all of the Baroque Works agents get away.
Yeah.
Basically. I think the ones that did not get away are like Crocodile himself, Mr. 1 and Mr. 2, I believe.
Yeah, I think Mr. 3 was there too. I think it was 1, 2, 3, and Crocodile.
Oh yeah, 3 didn't get away.
Because I remember Crocodile and 1 were like leaning against the wall, and then 2 and 3 were in front.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I really like the fact that Kobe and Homepo come back, and like that really, like I said, it gets me excited for later cover stories because if I know they're gonna pay off, and like if they didn't have that, like if Oda didn't do a one panel story for like whatever 40 chapters or whatever it was, I would have zero remembrance of anything about Kobe Helmeppo. Like I would have to go back and be like, oh, these guys or whatever. But because he got me like slightly invested in like their whole situation, like as soon as they showed up, I was like, that's them. Because I was awaiting it.
Plus, it's like we actually have like there's like a reason that they're like that they're together and they're with the Marines and like they're under guard. Because if that wasn't the case, then like they would have to show up and explain all of that.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, like we actually ended up like becoming buddies and like joining the Marines and stuff. But like because we already got all that, it's like not. It's not like. It doesn't feel like it's been retroactively added to the story because it wasn't. It was like part of the story all along. Like it was like it was foreshadowed like at the very beginning of One Piece, basically.
Yeah, I mean, and it's. I think the last time the cover stories like came to fruition was it as so long back as the Buggy one with Buggy and
I think so, yeah.
Alvida?
Yeah, I think it was literally just Buggy and Alvida being on the same crew.
Yeah, which was 300 chapters ago. So, I think the current one is probably my least favorite one, just because I don't care as much about Lightning guy. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
But he's on the moon.
But he's on the moon, and he's got like the crazy little guys, and like there's a fucking alien attacking them or something. The space pirates.
Like there are literally aliens in One Piece.
It's pretty cool, I guess. But I also don't care as much about NEL.
He's a god.
He is.
He's on the moon.
He's breathing on the moon. Let's see. Anything else at the end? Or any highlights you guys that we left out? Just like maybe small little moments. I'm trying to think.
We didn't talk about like Ace and Blackbeard's fight.
Yeah, we also didn't. Going back earlier than that, we didn't talk about Mermaid Bitch that I hate.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Kokoro.
Oh yeah. That's
Kokoro.
right. Yeah. Like Sanji's reaction was basically gold to that whole thing.
Yeah.
Like he was like, I want to believe that the mermaids are how I've imagined them in my brain.
Yeah. Because she's like kind of the catalyst for where they're going next, which is the Fishman Island, right?
Right. Yeah. That's what they're going next.
So, yeah, she was pretty horrific to look at the entire chapter, and it only got worse.
But they also brought up another thing where, like, on the way to Fishman Island, they have to go through like the Florian Triangle.
Oh yeah.
Like the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, Bermuda Triangle.
Treasure there. Nami was not excited, and when they brought up the treasure, though, she's like, "All right, that's fine, we can do it."
Yep. And then, sorry, what would you bring up after that? The
Ace Blackbeard fight.
Oh yeah, Ace Blackbeard fight. Oh my God, Blackbeard's powers look so cool.
Yeah. He's
That
got like a special Logia. Like it's like the only Logia where like he actually can't avoid damage
yeah,
because he sucks in the pain.
and the reasoning for him like he's like he had that fruit in mind for a while. Like he was like, I specifically wanted this fruit. So it's not like with like Kaku or something where they're just given her fruit and they have to like figure it out. Like he probably was thinking about this fruit for a while and like how in ways he could
was
use it.
tracking it down.
Yeah, tracking it down, which means he's been thinking about how to use this fruit the best way possible for a while.
Yeah, Blackbeard's a schemer now.
Yeah.
We know that he's a schemer.
Yeah, he's definitely like building up to him to be a pretty spooky foe, and like Ace holds his own. I was expecting them to end that whole little thing with Ace maybe getting beat, but then he pulls out the fucking Escanor cruel son, and then the chapter, I think that just ends pretty much right there.
Yeah, we don't really know the outcome of the fight right now.
Yeah. Ace seems real strong too.
Definitely, yeah. Another thing, speaking of Ace, another thing that we got, I don't even think it was a full chapter, but it was like part of a chapter where Shanks was like going up to meet Whitebeard.
Yeah.
So we have seen Whitebeard at this point. We know like what he's like this big old dude. And basically like Shanks is the whole reason that he was going to Whitebeard was he was basically saying, look, like you should you should not pursue Blackbeard because he's dangerous.
Yeah.
So
Well,
and that was before the fight with
wasn't
Blackbeard.
he telling him not to send Ace after Blackbeard?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was just warning, like,
'Cause
Blackbeard
Ace
is
was the
pretty
one who
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ace is like he was like the commander or the leader of his division.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the one who was going after Blackbeard. So he was like, yo, I know that Ace is going after Blackbeard. It's probably not a good idea.
Yeah. But then, yeah, like when Shanks walks onto Whitebeard's ship and like everyone just passes out.
Everyone's falling down as he's walking up.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
He's got some kind of power that just melts people. Well, not melts people, but knocks them out pretty good. He said he could kill them, I think, but he just didn't want to do that or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah.
then they get there and they just start drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, something's about to go down here between Shanks and Whitebeard, and then they're just laughing and drinking it up.
Yeah. Something that's kind of
So
cool.
we know they're on like reasonably good terms.
Yeah. Something that's kind of cool about like how One Piece has done the power progression is like they showed Shanks like really early, and they also showed like Mihawk and stuff, and like they showed a lot of these really strong characters early, and like it feels pretty consistent with how strong they are. Like obviously we'll see them later on and probably get a better idea of how strong they are, but also like it's given me a really good perspective on like how strong the Straw Hats are. And like how much further they have to go and how much they have to grow to get to this level, without it feeling like, oh, time to write a new chapter. Who can I make stronger this time? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And it's especially with Mihawk because like Mihawk is basically like the goal for Zoro, like particularly.
Yeah.
Like, that's what like Zoro's feeling is essentially like once he's strong, once he's able to beat Mihawk, that basically means that like Zoro has finished his arc. So we can basically reasonably expect that he won't be stronger than Mihawk until the end of the series because that's when he's going to be like done with his.
Yeah, I feel like Shanks is kind of that goal for Luffy. I don't think it's like as 1-to-1 as Mihawk is for Zoro, but like if once Luffy gets stronger than Shanks, like it's a pretty big moment for him.
Yeah, because Luffy's dream, obviously his is just to find the One Piece. And so like his is like less about like a power level thing. It's like not about like being a certain level of strength. But like Shanks is definitely like probably the biggest source of inspiration for Luffy.
Oh yeah,
he's still he wears this hat.
Yeah, he's got the hat. He literally named his entire pirate crew after the hat.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Shanks is like Luffy's. Yeah, he's always wanted to be like Shanks.
Yep. So yeah, a lot of build up towards the next few next few arcs. I'm guessing with
Oh, we also learned that
building
Shanks,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also learned that Shanks is one of like the Yonko, one of like the 4 emperors.
Oh yeah, maybe that's who was that who was formed to stop the stop
I think it
Dragon.
Was, like, I'm pretty sure that was like essentially like the 3 powers. They kind of like refer to this as like the 3 powers that are kind of like always like constantly checking each other. Is like the admirals of the Marines, the Shichibukai, and the Yonko are kind of like always like at odds, kind of. And so, and the Yonko, basically, I think that the only ones that we know are Whitebeard and Shanks. but they met up and they were like talking, so they're like on reasonably good terms.
Yeah. So they seem like the next step up from the Shichibukai.
Yeah.
But
And they,
also,
like,
we
don't
haven't
work
seen
for
all
the
the
government.
Shichibukai yet. So.
They actively oppose the government. So.
Yeah.
Right. These guys are the emperors of the sea. They're actual pirates, like two of the strongest pirate crews in the One Piece world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and I like how we see like the government's reaction to like Shanks and Whitebeard making contact. Like they're basically all like, "What the fuck is gonna happen? Like, what do we do?" And then like nothing ends up happening.
Yeah.
Like they thought they were gonna like ally or like and turn against the government or like start a war between each other, but nothing really happens.
Yeah.
So
And also, we haven't seen all the Shichibukai, or yeah, I mean, you guys have seen all the
we definitely have
Shichibukai,
not. Yeah, but there's still.
but I have
I think
not.
we've only seen. Yeah, we've only seen
Mihawk and
Mihawk,
Crocodile,
Mihawk,
and Mihawk's
that's
really
it,
strong
right?
too.
Yeah.
So that's lots of really scarily strong powers coming out. Oh, also we get
Oh
to
wait, no, we've seen more. We've seen we haven't really like experienced them, but like we've seen Kuma and Doflamingo at this point. They
oh yeah.
remember when they like showed up at the meeting to
Mhm.
like find a new Shichibukai.
Hmm. And then they name the next area of the sea the New World, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there,
So that's
it definitely seems like a very big point. I think I might have said that in the last episode, but it definitely seems like a very big point and like almost like a turning point, like the same kind of magnitude between like them getting onto the Grand Line and now it's them getting to the New World. So,
they're not there yet though.
yeah, exactly. They have to get to
Yeah.
the.
A little bit.
Yep.
But they did say that Fishman Island is like the halfway point. So once they get there, then they
Let's
they'll be making
see.
their way.
Anything else? Any other smaller funny moments? I'm trying to think.
Oh yeah, there was one really good moment where, like, in the battle on the bridge, where like all of the like vice admirals are like on the bridge fighting the Straw Hats. There's like one panel where Usopp is just like scraping his nails on a chalkboard, and that's his.
Oh yeah, I noticed that panel. It was so funny.
That was really good.
I feel like Usopp had another moment where he's like, you know, those moments where he's like talking to himself basically, and like everyone's still doing their own thing, and like he's like telling a story or something. I feel like he had another moment with that with Sogeking or something, but I can't remember exactly. He had a lot of just really good Sogeking moments for sure.
Yeah, he had a good moment with the Giants too. Like,
Yeah.
You know, they bonded over like his desire to be a warrior of the sea
Mhm.
and stuff.
After Zoro did all that fighting, some random vice admiral comes up and just like
Oh yeah,
disintegrates his sword.
yeah. He's got
Yeah.
his like rust. He must have like a rust devil fruit or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, we also got to see like the really nice. There was like one, maybe it was like half a chapter where we just kind of get to see it was like a reaction to all the bounty posters with all the people in everyone's life.
yeah, that was a great chapter.
It was like it was a pretty wholesome chapter and like some pretty funny moments with like
Yeah.
them reacting to like everyone in the fucking restaurants like dying at Sanji's fucking poster.
Yeah, that was so good.
And then you got like a wholesome one with Usopp and like the kids back there, and then I think Nami's one was pretty wholesome. Zoro's is pretty good. I feel like we haven't seen a lot of Zoro's back story. Like we didn't get to see much of his master before, so that was good. And then
You get the Makino or whatever her name is, the barkeep from Luffy's hometown.
yeah. Yeah.
And Whoop Slap.
Yep.
But we also see Vivi looking at them.
Yeah, we get to see Vivi again.
It's like, Nico Robin's on their crew. That's kind of weird.
Well, everyone else was like, "Oh my God, it's Nico Robin," and she
Yeah,
was just
she's
like,
like,
"Yeah, I know."
I trust Vivi.
Actually, I think they called her Miss All Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think what's his face, fucking Falcon guy, was just casually there, and like, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just casually in the meeting there.
He's still alive.
Yeah. I guess we could mention like another good feast scene. It was kind of
Oh, yeah.
pretty big feast scene, I guess. But
I mean, basically the entire like post Enies Lobby arc is kind of just like one big feast.
yeah,
It's not,
yeah.
I mean, it's literally eating the entire time, but it's basically just like a big kind of like celebration of like, you know, how they've gotten so far.
I like seeing everyone's more casual outfits. Like everyone's in t-shirts and like Luffy's in a tank top, except Sanji. I guess Sanji was still in a shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, their outfits do change. Like they have different outfits for different arcs. It's mostly recognizable for like the girls, just because they like change their outfits more.
Okay.
But like sometimes they're wearing like I
Yeah.
think, like Luffy. It's definitely more noticeable in like the colored manga. Like Luffy has like different colored pants.
Yeah. Okay.
Different color shirts too. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I think that'll do it for us.
That'll do.
That was an absolutely excellent arc. Between that and Water 7,
Yeah.
the whole build up and
Yeah.
the culmination of Robin's arc. So I'm guessing my prediction for the next few arcs is going to be, well, I think it'll be focusing on a different character, maybe a different character's backstory, or it'll be a bit more world lore based, which I think would be pretty exciting because we've kind of gotten everyone's backstory that we need right now, I feel. So going a bit more towards that would be
Yeah,
cool.
because the only real like basically like the formula like for adding a new member of the Straw Hats, which I think works really well, is like we basically like learn about like their backstory and like what their deal is, or getting them to like join the crew. So they all feel fleshed out by the time they join the crew.
Yeah.
And I'd say like the only real exception to that is Robin, because she's kind of like meant to be like a more mysterious character.
Yeah.
So that we can have this like really cathartic emotional moment during this arc. So yeah, I mean, I would say that like pretty much all of the Straw Hats have gotten that, and like that's kind of like why we like feel like we know them as characters, is because we've gotten their backstory and like know what's up with them before
Yeah.
we got the crew. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got the end of Frankie's backstory before we got the end of Robin's backstory.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So next, let's see. I'm looking at the arc. Are we gonna just what arc are we doing next time?
probably
Fish-
just Thriller Bark.
Fishman Island. Oh wait, no.
Now it's
Oh wait. Hold on. I was looking at the wrong part of the chart. My bad. Yeah, Thriller Bark. Let's do Thriller Bark next time.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Well, now you know that they don't go straight to Fishman Island.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's not too bad for me. Don't worry about that. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe. Hit the motherfucking bell. And yeah, next time will be Thriller Bark. Bye.
Sounds good. Can't wait.